Hello, welcome to another episode of Fit Family. Today we are going to be doing some flexibility, specifically for the hips and hamstrings for kids who are often in that seated position with a pelvic tilt and their backs are getting rounded and their hamstrings are tight and they don't have a lot of flexibility. That's what we're going to be focusing on, is trying to help get some of that flexibility back, so as they get older they don't have lower back pains or things going on. And a lot of that comes from pelvic tilt, so we're going to look to tackle that. We're going to start with a warm-up first. So the whole thing, the workout's going to be 30 minutes. We're going to start with a warm-up. So guys, on your feet, we're going to stand on one leg and we're going to hinge forward, a little bit of balance and flexibility, and come back up. So our warm-up's going to be 6 minutes long. All we're doing is warming up our tendons, ligaments and cartilage so that we are prepared for the workout. We don't want to stretch a cold muscle. We want the muscle to be warmed up a little bit.
I'm used to weight pulling me down when I do this one.
5, 6. Good job. All right, change legs. And we're trying to keep our hip straight as we come over and then come back up, trying to stay square, trying to keep our back flat. Shoulders are going to be back. 2 more. Good. Now we're going to take a lunge step. We're going to lunge down and we're going to reach over whatever leg is forward. And then we're going to stand up. So step back, reach over, come back up. Seven. One more for this leg. And 8. Good. We'll change legs. Same thing. It's okay. Do it on the floor if you need to. Good. Now we're going to come into our bear walk position, or downward dog. We're going to have our heels low to the ground. We're going to walk our hands up as close to our feet as we can, keeping our legs straight. And then we're going to come and walk our way forward. Right, and then we're back in this downward dog. So downward dog, we're going to come up. It's okay if you have to, if you're trying to keep your knees as bent as you can. If you have to come up a little bit, that's okay if you're not pointing down toward the ground. I only need 2 more. And 1 more. Good, now we're going to go into a pigeon. We're going to bring our hip down. We're going to have our hands like we're about to do a push-up down here. And we're going to push up, come into a downward dog, focusing a bit on our calves on the downward dog and pushing our heels down, and then bringing the other foot in and coming down. That's 5. Good job, guys. Try and get your heels close to the ground as you can to stretch that calf. 6. 7. 8. Good, we're going to come up and we're going to do some big arm circles. So we want to have our palms up in front, down behind, elbows are going to be locked. Good, we're gonna change directions. So palms still up when they're, or down and up toward the ceiling when they're in front of us, facing down when they're behind us, so have that rotation. Good, let's have a seat. So we're gonna have our feet together. And we're gonna reach, and we're gonna try and reach over to the other side, and then reach over to the other side, keeping our knees down.
Wasn't there like a version of this that you...
Yeah, so the other version, if you find you're really rolled forward and you can't move in this position, your knees are really high, is you're gonna bring your hip up by coming up onto your hands a little bit, and then you're just gonna twist and lean a little bit, and twist and lean a little bit. So it kind of depends on your flexibility. Good, now we're gonna go into a shin box. So we're gonna have one shin in front, one shin to the side, close to our hip. And then what we're gonna do is lift that leg up, sweep around, and then come in.
Wait, can you do that again?
So bring our leg out, sweep around, and then come back in.
So,
Yeah, so both legs end up in front of us, then both legs come back together. And one more. Okay, so we're gonna get into our static stretches. And we're gonna start with a frog stretch.
I've never heard.
So we're gonna have our knees separated. Yeah, we've done this one before. So we're gonna have our knees separated. We want a 90-degree angle at our knee here. When we come down, we're gonna separate our leg to what feels comfortable. And then we're gonna push back slightly and we're gonna hold.
I really feel this. Boing.
In about 30 seconds, we're just gonna reposition a little bit. As we warm up, we gain a little bit of space to open up a little bit more. If this hurts already, then stay in this position. So if you can, you're gonna open up your legs a little bit more, open up your knees. If you can't, you're just gonna stay in that position. You guys keep holding. So one thing you wanna watch is the rounded back here. Yeah, so you wanna, bring your knees a little closer together to keep your back flat. Yeah, that's good. Wanna make sure that we have a flat back and we don't have a big rounded arch. So if you need to bring your knees a little closer together to fix your spinal position, you're gonna wanna do that. I would encourage you to put music on right now. We don't have any playing. But at home when you're watching this video, you're welcome to put some music on while we hold some of these positions. How you guys doing back there? Good.
My knees are just slipping apart. Hold them together and hold your knees in place. No, you're just slipping.
So we got about 17 seconds left. Good, we're gonna come up into the push-up, bring our knees in, and then swing over into a pigeon. And then we're gonna come down, we're gonna hold a pigeon. Ideally here also, our back is gonna be straight. We're stretching our hip and behind by bringing our hip back. And we're stretching the front of our hip through this rotation. Whether or not you can open up your knee to a 90-degree angles, or if you have to keep your knee back, it's gonna be dependent on your flexibility.
I'm trying to 90-degree angle, but I need to
That's okay. If you can't, then don't. Yeah, just go where and do it where you can. And you're working to open up more.
That's my back rounded.
A little bit, but it's not bad.
What about high? Maybe it's a little bit rounded.
No.
No.
There you go. Now you're fine. 25 seconds.
Oh.
Again, you're going to move the leg back or lean a little bit further forward as you get more comfortable. 1.5 minutes we're holding each stretch. So you have time to loosen up a little bit, and with that extra space, you can open up a little bit more, get a really deep stretch.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so we're going to move into our next pigeon on the other side.
I'm trying as hard as possible to keep my back flat.
Well, if you need to, you can come up like this. And you,
That's a way to do it.
yeah, as long as you're still getting a stretch in your hip.
Yeah,
You still want your hip
I don't
driving
feel a
down.
stretch here, though.
So you have to find a happy middle ground. Yeah.
Here we go. Something. This is where I feel the spot.
30 seconds. All right, so we're going to come up out of this stretch. We're going to go into a hamstring stretch, so you can use a couch or a chair. You're going to have your foot up, and we're going to hinge forward into a hamstring stretch. If you're finding it's all the stretches in the back of the knee, you can bend your knee slightly just to deepen the stretch a little bit, and then straighten back out maybe halfway through the stretch.
When I like this, like put my leg up, it feels weird.
You should feel the stretch go from like down here and slowly travel up your hamstring. Good, so we want to watch is that you're not rounded, so you're really rounded here. Yeah. Now hinge forward, just your hips. Yeah. So what you're doing here is you're like this, and then when I say hinge forward, you do this. Do you see it? What my back is doing?
Yeah.
So what you need to do is just hinge a little bit by the hip is rotating down. Okay?
Mm-hmm. I feel like in the back of the knee and like down.
Yeah.
Half.
Yeah, that's normal. Especially if your foot's pointed back towards you, your toes. The higher your toes are, the more you're going to feel your calves.
Yep, that's very.
We're focused mostly on the hamstring right now. We're going to change legs.
This one I'm just trying to hold for as long as I can and see what my footprint's like.
So again, shoulders back. That's a big part of it, keeping the shoulders back and not rounding to reach. We want to keep our shoulders back, and we want to hinge into the stretch. Trying to keep the knee straight. Yeah, so if you want to bend for half the stretch, that's okay too.
I feel it for like this. I just feel it. Those my toes are.
It's a tight hamstring.
Huh?
If you feel it back here.
When I'm like this, I can't feel it. When I do this, I can.
Okay, go to where you can feel it.
The farther you get into it, the more it hurts. Oh. But
Yeah, my shirt.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Good. We're going to go into an IT band stretch next. So we're going to cross our right leg over our left. We're going to drive our left hip out and reach over to the right.
We also did this one the other workout. Does she need an IT band for an IT band stretch?
You do have one, yeah?
Oh, which one's which? Wait, where's which?
Runs down the side of your leg.
Oh, I thought an IT band was like a brand, just kind of like a TRX band.
IT band, not brand.
No, band. I know.
Okay.
Oh. And also, you know the
Okay.
TRX bands?
Yeah.
I thought that's what. There's just like another brand.
Oh, I see. Oh, IT band is short. As we get more relaxed in the stretch, we should be able to get a little bit deeper. You should feel it in the side where your IT band is. Really, you're stretching the insertion origin points. IT band itself is very hard to stretch, but it.
I think this one's not that tight because wait, is it like the side of your like lower like torso?
You're gonna feel it here, maybe a little bit here.
I feel like I think they're in flat. So
2, 1.
That's probably from reaching over your head. Just change sides, so left leg over right, and we're gonna reach over.
where's my pillow? Oh wait, no, I feel it. It's like that.
"25 seconds.
Three, two, one.
Good. I'm slowly gonna come out of it. So you're gonna grab a pillow if you need one, or you can use your mat. And we're gonna go into a couch style stretch. So in a lunge position, if you can, you're gonna bring your heel to your butt and you're gonna drive your hip forward slightly. We're trying to keep our hips square, pointing forward. And we'll be stretching our hip flexor.
I'm just gonna hold on to the tire just to get set up. I'm okay at something that's gonna then tilt my head. Not this one. Don't look at your toes because then you'll fall. I'm looking at my toes. Yeah.
Me too.
Are they moving a lot?
Yeah.
Something moving. Like a lat type of move. They're not your.
30 seconds.
Three, two, one.
All right, we're gonna change legs.
Or does your knee need to be out and then for the stretch? Isn't the stretch here?
Yep.
So could I still do it with my knee on the ground? Like I won't.
You wouldn't feel it.
Like, let's test that.
It wouldn't be anywhere near as helpful.
I can feel that.
Depends how tight your hip flexor are. I mean, if your hip flexor is really tight, there are stretches for your hip flexor where you're kneeling on both knees and then you lay back, which are for your ankles and hips, which actually we could do. Sure, we'll throw that in there next since you brought it up.
I didn't bring up that stretch. You brought up that.
You brought up two knees.
Oh yeah.
Two knees down quad stretches. So why not?
Why not? Good question.
30 seconds.
Good question. Why not?
And it's a good ankle stretch, good shin stretch, which we don't get a lot of.
Mm-hmm. I used to be able to do it really well. Now I can't, not very much. I think Grace can do it.
3,
She can do it.
1.
Okay, good. So we're gonna move to the. Camera drop.
Mic
Need to get rid of this cord.
The mic drop except with the camera.
Let's start current interval. We'll start that again. Okay, so next we're going to be in a kneeling position. If you have bad knees or this is painful for your knee, I would suggest you go to one leg at a time. You can actually come back and sit back on one leg at a time, and it's a little bit less intense on the knee. You control the hip position relative to the knee. When you have both feet side by side, it's a little bit more intense on the knee, especially with your feet out to the side. So you're going to come back as far as you can.
Wait, wouldn't this be considered?
My feet love to cramp up when I first start this, so.
Is it any different to have like my knees close together with that?
Well, you can feel it and you can try it and see if it feels different.
Just your foot kind of in a different position. That would make a difference.
The foot position would, yeah. But you don't want to put too much pressure on your knees, so you're going to keep it close to your hips.
I just put something in my ankle. It looks like your your knee, if something happened to your knee. Not as much as you, but with him, it looks like his knee snapped.
1.
It kind of does.
Good, we're slowly going to recover from that. Slowly move. Yeah, it's a lot for the ankle. So next we'll spend 45 seconds. We'll actually stretch the opposite way into the calf. So we're going to keep the heel down, one foot up, so come into the position I'm in, and you're going to bring your knee forward as far as you can, keeping your heel on the ground. So you want this back heel to stay on the ground, and my knee is going to come as far forward as I can. You're going to feel a stretch up the calf and into, mostly in the ankle, but part of the calf.
That hurts the ankle.
Yeah, keep your heel down though. Yeah, and now bring your knee as far as you can without your heel coming off the ground.
Wait. This is where I can go.
Good, and we're going to change the legs and do the opposite.
For me, the bear walk is easier than this. No, not for me. I do not like the bear walk. Oh, I just pulled this. Feel like you can strap your heel to the ground and just go as far as possible. Although you'd probably end up hurting yourself if you did that.
3, 2, 1.
Good. All right, so we're going to lay on our back. I'm just going to check the camera angle. You guys lay on your back. Make sure we're okay here after our camera fell over.
Like that.
I'll start this over. Okay, so we're gonna lay back and we're gonna bring one knee as close to our chest as you can.
And keeping the other one straight.
Yeah, other leg's gonna be straight.
And my leg is straight. Nothing. Nothing shall touch the ground. Where are you supposed to feel this one?
It depends where you're tight. Yeah, you might feel it inside.
Here. I feel like it's in the inside of the.
Yeah, you're pulling a lot in the hip and
And also
helping the
thighs.
lower back.
I don't feel it in the lower back.
But gaining position in this helps your lower back.
And rolling. Roll, roll, pulley. Just keep spinning. Just keep spinning.
30 seconds to go.
Just keep spinning. Just keep spinning. Just keep spinning. Spinning, spinning. You know that from Finding Nemo, or is it Finding Dory? I can't remember which one. Finding Dory. No, I think it's Finding Nemo. Well, that's fine. Actually, yeah, I think that's Finding Nemo. Yeah, because she's telling that to them when they're trying to find him.
All right, so we're gonna cross the same leg over, keeping both shoulders pinned to the ground. We're gonna bring our knee as close to the ground as we can. The priority is keeping both those shoulders on the ground. So if your knee's up here when both your shoulders are on the ground, because that's as far over as you can turn, that's okay. So both shoulders touching the ground. You have to feel the ground with the back of both
I'm
shoulders.
just going to hold on to the couch.
And you're gonna bring your knee as low as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Don't overdo it.
Big one you can feel. Yeah.
So your foot should be in front of your other leg at a 90-degree angle.
Like this.
Yeah, so you want to open this up like this.
What is SpongeBob? It's not SpongeBob. Yeah, that's SpongeBob. Like, I can't do that's not SpongeBob at all. I can't do SpongeBob at all. I could do SpongeBob laughing at least. No, I can't do it. Sounds like a sheep. Bah.
10 seconds. Matthew, try and stay still. Push your knee down.
5,
Stretching the lower back.
3, 2, 1.
Good, so we're going to straighten this leg. And now we're going to start by pulling the other leg into the chest.
Just keep moving. Keep moving. I guess just keep stretching. Just keep stretching. Just keep stretching, stretching, stretching. If that's even, this is a stretch, right? I don't know what else it would be if it wasn't. An exercise? No, because you're not exerting your body. Swimming in the swimming pool. No, it's just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
20 seconds to go. All right, I'm going to cross the leg over, pinning both shoulders to the ground, knee as close to the ground as you can.
Pop.
Did you hear a crack?
I heard a crack and I also felt something pop at the same time. Like,
Maybe you'll be running faster
what?
next time you run. Maybe your hips are out of alignment and you just popped them back into place.
That seems really weird and also very gross. What? Ed said maybe maybe my hips were out of alignment, I just popped them back into place. I was like,
I do that all the time.
you do?
From trail running, because I run so much distance at different elevate, like I never step the same way twice, my hips end up getting a little off balance because there's so much off balance running, which is good for you, but the side effect is sometimes your hip out of alignment. So I do these kinds of stretches, and then eventually I get a big crack, 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 crack sound.
Pop.
And then it's all back in alignment.
Jibs.
27 seconds, and we are done for today's stretches.
And like, flat on the ground. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep stretching, just keep stretching, just keep stretching, keep stretching. Doesn't have that same ring.
2, 1. Your time.
All right. Good job, guys. Good stretch.
Nice.
Good job.
Ooh, my hips.
Hope you enjoyed that. I would encourage you to do that with your kids at home when you have the chance. Thanks.